Welcome back to Cards and Comics, guys. Today I'm going to be doing a major update on my vintage card collection. So it's going to be mostly pre-war, and it's going to be covering three main phases of my collection. I collect Chief Bender and Native American cards, pirate cards, and then just Hall of Famers and cool cards from pre-war that I'm just collecting because I either love the card, or in some cases I might be even looking at building a set or two from that time period. So I'll walk through it. So we'll start here with my Native American cards and Chief Bender. So the first three cards here are a lot I won from REA, and these all three showcase the Nebraska Indians travel team from the 1800s. And so this team was together from the 1800s, late 1800s to the 1920s or 30s. So here's a team photo. You can see they are wearing, let's say some traditional clothing here, or headdresses and the like. Because again, the team's identity was that they were a travel club. So they were like the Kansas City Monarchs. They were like the House of David, the Laramie Loups, and all those kind of teams. They were barnstormers, and they played local teams. And their gimmick was that they were, made up of mostly Native Americans. They had some non-Native Americans play on the team as well, but they would play up the Native American side to get people to come out to watch them play because they were there to make money. You can see this is a postcard. And so, again, this is like from 1924. So I really love that card. And it's got a crease in it, and they're in a tear, but it's a really cool piece of Native American history in baseball. And the team itself, and some more photos here of them. The team itself was, featured in the Ken Burns documentary too. So they're pretty famous. They're one of the first real big barnstorming teams, but they also had a gimmick, and here is an example of that gimmick. So here's the same team, and this is two players, but this is the guy they call the Clown. And so they had a team mascot who would go around and get the crowd angry at the team, to get people to really boo and really want to beat them and drive people to attend them. And so this is three of our star players. And the team, again, says Green's Nebraska. So Green is the manager and the owner of the team. And so that's the Clown. Now they had this gimmick, right? And it's really fun to write about. It was they had some really good players on this team. They had a few guys even make the majors. They would take their star player and they would dress him up as a clown, and then during the game they would tell the crowd that this player, this clown, wanted to play, his family was in town, or give some kind of story. And then they'd but it would be their best player dressed up as a clown, and they bring him out. Then he would proceed to strike out the side, in which everyone would like be freaked out and like all clapping and cheering because they think it's just some like guy who doesn't know how to play baseball. So it's just this gimmick, right? And you have Banana Ball right now. Savannah Banana is doing very similar ideas today, but it started with teams like the Nebraska Indians. And here's another picture of players from that team. And honestly, if you didn't know who these guys were, meaning that they were a baseball team, you may not even guess that these guys played baseball based on this photo right here. And last but not least is an actual photo. So a photo postcard. So this is very thick. And I can't really tell what year this is from. But the cool thing about it is you can see them in their actual baseball uniform. So this is what they actually looked like when they played baseball. And you can see there are Native Americans on that team. So I get kind of closer and you can kind of see the individual players on the team. And that's the owner right there. And their nickname was Only Ones on Earth because they build themselves as the only all Native American team, or the first Native American team who ever played baseball like this. So they call themselves the only ones on Earth, and I love that you can actually see what they looked like getting ready to actually play a game, not just in their kind of, because again, they dress like in the first photograph. This is like a promotional photo. This is like them trying to promote them to get people to show up to the game. They didn't go out and play like that. They wouldn't play like this, like a regular baseball team. And they actually won a high percentage of the games. And you got to remember, this isn't like the Harlem Globetrotters. They played local teams, college teams, semi-pro teams, in real games. They were not, put on an exhibition. They were, trying to win because the teams they were playing against wanted to beat them very badly. Because you got to remember, no one at that time wanted to get beat by a Native American team. That would have been embarrassing for a lot of the teams, these small towns back in the day. So, they had a reputation for being a good team. And so they were, they had to try hard to win. It wasn't like they were just out there, goofing off. But, it's a cool story, but I thought it was really fun to have all three in one lot. And it wasn't really that expensive. So it's really fun to pick up things like that. Next up is some Chief Bender pickup. So here's a card I picked up at a local a local show here in Albany. It's a Sovereign back 2206 portrait. It's a 1.5, but it looks really nice for 1.5. And here is the Sovereign back. So there you go. Portrait with a cool back. Really love when they have a nice color, even on the little bit of a lower grade. Next up is, put the camera down just a little bit. A really, really cool card. Got this in an REA auction. This is the Bruner's Bread. This is the Chief Bender, 1911 and 1914 Bruner's Bread. In a 1.5. Now it's a little rough. You can see the creasing here and here. This card is really hard to find in almost any condition. So I'm excited to be able to get it. This is a card that I've really wanted to have for a long time. There was actually one at the Strongsville show that was actually in worse shape, if you kind of believe it. Similar grade, worse shape. Here is the back. So I love the back, that Bruner's Bread, butter crust back, cool back. And I think it has good color, and I like the picture of Bender is very nice. No creasing on the face or things like that. So to me, it's an acceptable 1.5. It has some good attributes. It has some bad attributes. So it's a 1.5. But it's very acceptable for my collection because this card can get very pricey pretty quickly when you get into grades above that 1.5. Now, next up is a card I just won in the recent REA auction, and this year I did pick up its cousin, or its brother, the 1915 Cracker Jack, and here is the 14 Cracker Jack. This is the Chief Bender 1914 Cracker Jack. So now I have both the 14 and 15. And they're both, I believe, 2s. I have to pull the 15 out of my collection. But I am really stoked about this 14. So I'm giving you kind of a little close-up view here. So yeah, like it's got this back. I think that's a little bit of a tear. I was just going to look at it really closely. It may not be a tear. It's hard to see. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to, it looks like it could just be really creased, right there. I don't think it's tore. Because it's a 2 is a pretty, rough grade. It does have that crease, but front wise, it presents really nice. It's a really, really nice 2. I'm very excited to have it. So, again, with the Bruner's Bread, these are 2 really tough Bender cards to get to get into my collection this year. And I mentioned, in my video with Doug, Joe Wood Collector, I'm looking to get, some really tough benders this year. And I've picked up quite a few already. And I'm pretty excited about where I'm at with Bender. After having a few years where I didn't really pick up much, now I'm back and picking up. I picked up the T227 and the 15 Cracker Jack this year as well. So next up is my big purchase from the Strongsville show. So this is the Mellowmint. Get it right, the angle. The Mellowmint E105 Mellowmint gum from 1910. The striped hat. And so this is, a candy card from, the 1910s. It's got a little bit of a print dot there and there, but it's a 5. And it's the highest SGC card ever graded. And there's one PSA that's graded, I think, a 5. So it's a really, really tough card. It's very low pop. I think total there was maybe like 10 or 11 cards total that's ever been graded. It's in this holder. It kind of moves around a little bit. I wish it was a little bit better cut, but it's got that beautiful Mellowmint back. It's one of the cooler backs you'll see on any candy card. It's just a really great card. It's very tough, great looking back, great looking card itself, and I'm really excited to get a little bit more obscure rare card. And you just won't ever hardly see these cards come up for sale. And it's a beauty. And there's been a lot of cool cards up for auction recently. This card sold previously, the exact same card. And I got it for a little bit cheaper, or not a little cheaper, but almost exactly the same price it sold for originally. So I felt like I got a good deal. Just because I paid, exactly what the last one brought for the most part, but I had a trade deal, so I was able to trade for it. So that made a little bit better. I was able to trade like 50s and 60s and 70s cards to get this card, and I was pretty stoked about it. Next up is a card that I didn't really know much about until, talking to my buddy Doug, and it's a Pinkerton postcard. From 1913 1915. It's the blank back, and this is right at the end of Bender's career. So this is close to him being done as a player. But I love it. It's because it's just that full sepia tone photograph of him. You can see it says Chief Bender Athletics, but that's just a great display piece, and they're really tough. The Pinkerton cards have a pretty strong following. This is a really high grade. It's a 5. So I got this again in an RA auction, clean back, great card. Super stoked once I got it in hand. So yeah, a lot of good Bender cards this time around. So I feel like there's a lot of great auctions. Collector Connection, REA, that's giving ability to pick up some great cards that, to me, I was just surprised how many good ones are up for auction right now. And so it's just been a lot of fun picking up cards along the way. So here is my last Native American card here for this video. And there's this player, Moses Yellowhorse, was the first full-blood Native American player who ever played in the major leagues. Chief Bender is Ojibwe from Minnesota. He is he's a part Native American. His dad is non-native, and his mom is full-blood, so it makes him half. But he grew up on a reservation. He grew up as a Native American. Like, he went to the Carlisle School, which is the same school that I believe Jim Thorpe went to. So, I've heard some people say, like, Chief Bender is not a real Native American. I'm like, no, he lived it. Like, he was treated as a Native American his whole life. So he definitely earned his credentials as a Native American. He was not one of those people who were given the title Chief just, as a fun nickname. No, he he grew up on a what we call a reservation where I'm from, but he grew up, going to the boarding school and going to Native American school and all that stuff. So, very interesting life. I'm Doug, my friend, gave me a book on his life, and it's very common. I've read multiple books from people that live that same era. He lived a very typical life of a kid that grew up during that transition from the Wild West to modern. I hate to say modern, but the transition and the society in the 20s. And his story is very similar. You can read Lakota Woman. You can read other books that talk about those time periods in the boarding schools and what was happening. So, again, love being able to get cards like this that have such a great presentation. Now, Moses Yellowhorse is a full-blood Native American. He pitched for the Pirates, only a few games, from what I understand. And this is his only card, this 1922 exhibit that shows him in a Native American, an actual pirate uniform. He has a Z-Nut, and I think he has 2 Z-Nuts as well when he played the minor leagues and the PCL. This is the first one that shows him as a Pittsburgh Pirate, and I love it. I won it in the RA auction, and I got into severe bidding war on this card. There's a lot of people who wanted it. I think it's one of the key cards in this whole set, and it wasn't. I thought it might go a little cheaper, but it's a pretty tough card to come up with. And then I just lucked out and got one of the Z-Nuts that was on. Someone posted one recently, so I'm going to have my second Moses Yellowhorse card coming in pretty soon. So I'm excited about that. But here you go. Here's the back. It's a blank back. So again, a lot of oversized cards. Honestly, like I'm really getting into a lot of oversized cards. I didn't really collect a lot of oversized cards for a long period of time because it's just like bulky and hard to store. But now I'm really getting into the presentation side of how they look when you see them compared to like a card like this, which is, it's just a massive difference in size. But there it is, guys. That's really my whole year for the most part, and pre-war on my Native American and Chief Bender collection. Let me know what you think. What cards you like, and let me know what you think in the comments. And I'll see you next time on Cards and Comics. Bye.